Today we're going to talk about how do we find the time to travel. I get asked that question all the time, and it's not a big secret, but everybody seems to want to know. So let's get into it. So the first thing you need to do to find time to travel is to set boundaries. Number one thing that you always have to set boundaries with is work and family. So let's talk about work, because that's usually the biggest one that holds most people back. It's important to make sure that you are not the bottleneck at work. If tomorrow, God forbid, you got ran over by a bus, as they always say, or something went wrong, what would they do? They'd probably figure out a way without you. And it's important for you to make sure that you're always training your replacement. If you're not doing that, then you'll always need to be sitting at your seat, doing work, and everybody will be depending on you. And while that's not a horrible thing, right, for people to prefer working with you, you shouldn't be the only option. And if you are the only option, you kind of need to ask yourself, why is that? It's time to do something else, make some changes, teach some other people how to do your job. It's time to make some changes. The other thing that holds people back are kids. So if you have kids, that's something you're gonna have to work around. So some things that I've seen are, one, a willingness to remove your kids from school for a week while they go off with you and travel. And then you're committed to, when they come back and you guys have taken the family vacation, committed to making sure that they get back up to speed so that they're not missing any assignments. So that's one that I've seen, and that's one that's kind of as old as, time. I remember when I was little and people did the exact same thing. So it's something you can also practice as well. It's not something that most people do often, but I haven't seen it done more than, say, 2 times, right, per school year, but it is an option that you can do. A lot of the time, just like we saw during, the pandemic, you are able to get the assignments ahead of time, and so it's totally possible for you to do some of those assignments while you're away. The other way to do it with kids is to make sure that you are planning your vacations while they are off. So winter break, one of my really close friends is a teacher, and she is always planning things during winter break, spring break, summer breaks. Those are excellent times to plan your vacations and still be able to live a full life while you have kids. The other one that I hear all the time is family. So I hear my family's concerned, I'll be traveling solo, they're unsure if something will go wrong with me, they're afraid that if I'm in a different country, I'm less safe than I am, here in whatever country I'm in. And I'm here to tell you, you're just gonna have to block them out and set that boundary and say, hey, I'm going. So here are some options, some of which you may not like. Number one, you can tell them when you're already on the plane. Totally doable. What are they going to do? You're an adult. You're allowed to make decisions and set boundaries for yourself. Number two, you can tell them ahead of time, write a detailed itinerary that details your hotel, your flights, the locations you'll be at, the activities you're doing, and the times, and send it to them, right? It's always possible to share a Google Doc with them so that they can feel comfortable that you will be at a certain place at a certain time. The other thing that I do all the time is just simply sharing your location. If you share your location with them, they can literally look it up on Google Maps and they'll be able to see exactly where you are, which is very likely going to give them a sense of calm and peace that they can zoom in, right? And they can take a look. Another thing you can do is, while you are Ubering around the city that you're traveling to, share your location with them, right? So there is a feature inside the Uber app where you can share with somebody else, what route you're taking on your ride. So I highly recommend that you do those things to help with family. And the other thing to remember about boundary setting is, this is your life. You want to do it, you go do it. You're going to have to set boundaries and decide that it doesn't really matter whether they like it or they don't, you're still going to go for it. The second thing that you can do to find time to travel is to set a budget. And I know this seems weird because you're thinking, wait, time management? What does that have to do with my budget? You should be setting aside money every single paycheck that goes towards your travel budget. Why? Because one of the feelings that you're probably going to run into at some point is if you see the trip and you don't have the money already set aside, you're probably going to go, oh, let me delay. Oh, maybe I don't need to do it now. But you should go now. And if you have the money already set aside, you will be able to do that. So make sure that you set a budget, you put money aside every single month. You can do it in a multitude of ways, right? So if you need to give up something, you can do that and put those savings into your travel budget. Or if you need to get a side job, you can do that and put those savings into your travel budget. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Some people find that, making more is easier than saving more. Either one is okay, totally up to you, but those are some things that you're going to have to do, because if the money's there, you'll go. But if the money's not there, you're gonna, I'm gonna say, kind of question why you should go, if now's the right time for you to go. If you have another expense pop up, you're gonna question, why am I spending money on travel? But you know what? Travel feeds the soul. That's why you're doing it. So it's important to make sure that you set that money aside ahead of time, you don't touch it, and therefore you don't have to worry about this when the time comes. So that's your number 2. Make sure you set your budget. Moving on to number 3 of the ways that you can make time to travel. So this one may seem simple, but it's so key. Remain flexible on your dates. So when you look at your schedule, if you have kids, you'll find that, just like I said earlier, there will be certain breaks. But during that month or 2 weeks or whenever there is the break, there will likely be a cheaper ticket and a more expensive ticket. So it's important to make sure that you are flexible on your dates so that you can go with that cheaper ticket. So if you do that, I think you'll find that you'll spend a little bit less on travel and hence you'll travel more. Super important. Then, if you are someone like me who is child-free and you do not have kids, the world is your oyster, right? I see that there are great rates, great ticket prices for my flight to Turks and Caicos. And if I see that, then I'm able to say, all right, well, let me take a look at what is the best month to go. Which one should I do, right? So if you see that the better rate is in February, then go for it, right? There's no need to hold back. There's no need to be staunchly sticking to one month versus the other, unless you have some really, really specific need why you would need to do that. But in general, you don't need to do that, and you're completely able to travel in February versus October or whatever other month it may be. So if you remain flexible on your dates, I think you'll find that you'll be able to find the time to travel because it'll be super, super simple. And the 4th way to make sure that you will find time to travel is to not wait on anybody else. If I leave you with nothing and you've gotten nothing from this video, make sure you get that. It's important to not wait on others. There's a really cool meme that always says, show me a group of friends who says, oh yeah, we're gonna go on a group trip, later this year. And then it fast forwards to later that year and it says, show me a group of friends who have not traveled. And what I think you'll find is that other people's schedules will often get in the way. And then you will find that because you're waiting on them, you never end up going. So many of us have experienced that. And it's not that your friends or your family who you've asked to go with you mean you harm, not at all. They just have their own schedules that they have to stick to, right, and work within, and they have their own engagements that they have to work around, right? They may have a few weddings that year or, some different birthday parties that they have to go to. And then when you layer those on with what you have to do and then your work commitments and their work commitments, and you can quickly start to see that it becomes super, super difficult to find the time. And so if you set that boundary for yourself where you won't wait on others, I think you'll find that you'll be able to really, really quickly get on a plane, head out of town, take your fabulous travel photos so that you have your great memories, and then be able to come back. So super key, make sure you don't wait on others. And my fifth bonus tip for finding time to travel is to make sure that you sign up for deal alerts. We've all heard of some of the cool websites that you can go to, like skyscanner.com, to be able to sign up for deal alerts. Go there, sign up, make sure you pop in where you want to go, and have them send you emails, right? Or whatever notification form. Some may do a text, right? But have them send you emails whenever a deal comes up. That way, you're the first to know, right? Don't hesitate when you see the deal. Book that trip. Why? Because you already have your budget that I mentioned earlier. It's now time for you to hit that button and purchase your ticket, and then soon you'll be jumping on that plane. So those are some tips for you to find time to travel. I hope these helped, and let me know what you think in the comment section, right? Do you have any tips that have worked for you over and over again, tried and true, that you'd like to share? Share it with everybody else. Let us know. I'm super excited to learn what you guys do and to learn some things that you've seen others do. They'll help me and they'll help everybody else. So leave them in the comment section below. Let us know what it is that you're doing. And let me know if you think I forgot anything. I'm excited to hear and find out a little bit more about what you guys normally do. And while we're talking about everyone else, make sure that you go to www.kellyquestions.com and join the community. We're super excited to share amongst each other, and we share some really great tips, so make sure that you're in on that. Sign up for the community. By the way, if this video helps you any, make sure that you hit that like button, tap that subscribe button, and tap that notification bell so that you'll be the first to know when I post a new video. And hopefully you'll be able to find the time to travel. It revolutionizes and changes your life for the better so much. Don't be afraid. Go out there and travel. So hopefully that helped you. I'll see you next time. Bye.